No karate chops.
I think girls are like more intense when fighting.
Yeah.
What do you think about?
Yeah, some are, for sure. For sure, it's very exciting. And they're really excited to get the opportunity. There's not too many opportunities for women to do Jiu Jitsu on the big stage. And, we're on UFC Fight Pass. It doesn't get bigger than that. So we're going to, hopefully keep it going, keep it pushing, keep growing it, and to blow up Medusa into the stratosphere.
How are you feeling?
Good. I'm ready to go. No, this is actually my 5th one, so we're hoping 5th time's the charm,
So you've been training for this for how long?
I mean, since they announced it and they said there was a 115-pound bracket, I was like, all right, I'm in on it. Good. My game plan is always to get on top, make people win on bottom,
Okay.
get some exciting.
I was going to be, and we set the card, we set the pace, so I think it was really exciting.
And you're
First thing they're doing tonight.
take a shower and eat like a hamburger, probably something like beef. I'm sure this is not gonna be the first or the last time you hear about me. I'm sure you're gonna see me everywhere. This is just the beginning. So I mean, win or whatever that comment is, I'm sure this is just the first time of many.
Of course. Thank you so much, baby. Muchos. About yourself and how did you first get into Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, so I started training about 6 years ago. I had an ex-boyfriend who did it, and I was a power lifter before, and he always told me, I think you might be good at this, and I'd like to think he was right, but
Hitting her in the face. She's not defending. She's not defending. Roll. Yank it across. Roll. There we go. Yank it across.
All of my sponsors, and then a big shout out to my husband who makes it possible for me to be here. And thank you to Eddie Bravo for putting Medusa on such a big platform, for UFC Fight Pass, for showing it to everyone at home who can watch. This is amazing. Let's keep doing it.
What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcast. I just saw it was written. Okay. I mean, it's not untrue. Might be a little more true than not true. I guess I could say that. Anyway, welcome to the official, what a great way to transition, by the way, to saying we're the official Jiu Jitsu Overdose pre-show. When it's got to it says I'm hungover. Nonetheless, you don't know that. You don't know if I was. Maybe I'm just drinking tea and hungover on tea. Just saying that. Ladies and gents, welcome to The Bullpen, a joint venture between the Grappling Hour and Inside BJJ. I hope you're in for a good show. And I hope you're excited for today's excellent Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds plus the epic finale to Jiu Jitsu Overdose. Yeah. It's been 3 days of competition we've seen behind us, 1 day in front of us, and I've brought the news team to tell us what to expect from today. We say hello to my partner in crime, one Tim Freeman. Tim, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Raph. Hungover or not, you're still the best in the game, so you got that going for you. We had a great night of fights last night with EBI, and we got Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, the lightweights, coming up soon. I'm pumped. I love to watch the slaps. I'm getting my hands oiled up so I can practice with my kids. They're adults.
Oh, okay. I don't know that makes it better. Nonetheless, why don't we transition quickly to one Kevin Sherrill. Kevin, you have no kids to hit that I am aware of, or that you're aware of, I think.
Nope. No, I use white belts for that.
I guess this is only funny to me in the sense that perhaps before people should know we got together and we go live for all of you to see, Kevin was in here being like, I mean, can I get on Combat Jiu-Jitsu? And I'm thinking to myself, Kev, you've already snuck onto 1 year. Is it not greedy to try and sneak onto another?
I think I can start to string together a chain. I can pick up some momentum and just start showing up on shows. They'll let me on.
Well, speaking of which, you have to build momentum because you and Tim are against each other very soon in the preliminary rounds of the Running the Gauntlet competition. And I was just curious how you both feel about being paired up against one another.
I think this is RAF ploy. I think it's this bracket was clearly manufactured to pit two of the main threats in the bracket against each other early. He's trying to curry favor with one of the other top seeds. This is ridiculous. Corruption.
Interesting. Tim, your response.
That actually makes sense. Kevin and I, as much as we go back and forth, are undercover brothers. We've conspired together to work against you on several occasions, namely Jiu Jitsu. So maybe we're going to have to work something out here. But I kind of feel like, yeah, Raph is going to have us bang it out. One, probably to placate one of the other top guys. And two, for his own personal enjoyment. If I was in his position, I would do the same damn thing. So
I do find it hilarious when the two think that you conspired against me, or you sent texts to each other and you're like, oh, we're going to do this for Bullpen Court. And then you come and you have this big scheme. And I've never felt more like the Bond villain that wins ever in my life than when you both go, gotcha. And I go, did you? Okay. If you guys say so, that sounds great. But Kevin, I'm sorry, I was interrupting you. What were you saying?
I think we should start forming Voltron on our way to the top. I think me and Tim don't actually beat each other. We combine forces, combine our votes, move on into the quarters, and we see who wants to join up. We'll ultimately win by assembling 5 of the top prospects. Our choices, though.
The weird part
we're
is
the head and
none
the
of you
torso.
go
They get
against me.
options.
All of you guys just go against each other, which is part of the beauty of this, because you guys all, I'll say this. There's one person who has not co-authored yet. They shared it. They didn't co-author. But then all of a sudden they saw it was a vote and they quickly co-authored. So they let it ride for a minute. They voted for themselves and they were like, wait. Oh no, I can't lose. So in between all of this gusto, if you would, or people being like, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's like you get a vote up and people are suddenly the most competitive people you'll ever see. So I just thought it was weird because Kevin came in with this high accusation, but I just couldn't tell if he was just maybe a little scared because he can't overtime his way through it. He can't get a stall call to help him. it's now in a place where it's like, you literally have to leave it to people to say, do you think you do a good job or do they like you? And I feel like that's the one you were like, shit.
Yeah, it is something diabolical to have me put in a popularity contest in the jiu-jitsu community. There's not a third like hating me a lot doesn't actually give Tim like an extra vote. If there was like a do you like Tim and like do you hate Kevin button, I feel like Tim wins in a landslide. But since it's just binary, I might be okay.
I think
Maybe.
you're going to be
I bet if I share it on my page, his votes go bonkers.
I do appreciate, though, that you guys are all in for good fun, but I do recognize that in about 4 days, this will change very drastically between the two. So I feel like Wednesday or Thursday is going to get a little weird for the show here. But
the second one of us takes a lead, yeah.
Well, the weird part is Garmo and Brian are up today, and Brian works for this show, essentially. So he cuts our clips. And Garmo, Garmo's a great competitor, and Brian came in with this is all I got. He has fancy chairs, good style. I'm just a Midwest boy. And Garmo came back and was like, I want to take everything from this man. I don't even care. Just let me win. And Garmo pulled right neck and neck. Like, Brian had a lead, and now it's starting to get cut. So lots of fun in store for that. But, gentlemen, we have a thing to get to, which is we have a whole bunch of news and information that's happened. So why don't we go ahead and transition? A board day, but instead we'll be doing hot topics. So our topic first that we'll go ahead and start off with is we want to discuss what happened yesterday at EBI. And I figure I want to give each of these guys an opportunity to say what they thought was happening or what intrigued them the most. And we're going to go ahead and start with you, Tim. What really impressed you yesterday at EBI?
Well, I'm pulling up my notes because I was taking notes last night as we were going through it and watching it. Namely, like Alan Sanchez looked fantastic. And in terms of sticking to a mostly 10th Planet style game and pulling it off, he did really, really well. He breezed through his first round, wasn't too hard, didn't spend too much energy. Let's see, who did Alan fight in the second round? I think he fought Nathan Haddad. He went to OT with him. That was a pretty tough match for him. Ended up fighting Kevin Buring in the semifinals and then beating Wojcik in the finals. He just looked good, man, and he looked calm. He doesn't really cut an intimidating figure, but damn, he looked good. Overall, I thought it was a great event. There were 6 submissions in the first 8 matches, and the matches that did go to OT were relatively entertaining. Guys were going for the subs, not just playing ride time. That really ugly head a little bit, but that's part of the rules. Guys are going to do that. There's not a lot you can do to change that. But overall, I thought it was a big win for EBI. I thought it was a win for Jiu-Jitsu, and I think it's a win for UFC Fight Pass. So I give that event, if I had to grade it, I think I would give it like an A-. I thought they pulled it off pretty well last night.
Thank you for that. Kevin, we go to you next.
Yeah, I thought a couple of major points on like what they did really well is the production's top tier. As always, that's not a surprise. Like Eddie's been doing this a while. He knows how to run a really good show. Credit to Alan Sanchez for winning and repeating in a really loaded bracket, man. I mean, his finals opponent the last time around was Nick Ronan, I believe, and Nick Ronan didn't make it out of the first round. He got upset by Haddad. So when you're looking at what would have been like, that's an incredible jump in talent and depth in that bracket, and he still managed to produce results and come out on top. Like, credit to him for that. Loaded bracket. Chris Wojcik really ran, I think, displayed a lot of danger. Great job for everybody. A couple of, like, borderline, like, every EBI, there's that match or two that people use as, like, yeah, rules they're not good or whatever, like when they think somebody game towards the end. I didn't see a lot of that. I thought this was a really stacked bracket with a lot of guys going after it and trying to rip each other's limbs off and beat the brakes off each other. It was really good.
Thank you for that, sir. I'm going to return to the group here in just a second, but I did want to kind of go over this, which I wanted to ask the next question, which is what exactly are the implications now of this, because to me, every time we have one of these events, something big is happening or another story is starting to kind of chain off. One story that we saw was Alan Sanchez was calling for his shot on the Fight Pass Invitational. So he understood. He's like, hey, man, I've done this twice already. Can I get on that card? And I don't see a reason why not. But I was wondering if there were any other further stories that may have developed yesterday. And I'll start with you, Kevin.
Yeah, everybody wants to fight Canuto, man. Everybody knows that's the ticket. Fight Pass will book Canuto every day of the week. Al Sanchez, smart play calling him out, because like, if you're gonna fight Canuto, one of the more difficult things to do as a competitor on these types of shows is to balance trying to win and doing the things that are intelligent and not taking too many risks, not swinging for the home run or pulling up at half court, and being smart, right? Mixing that with being entertaining, right? Trying to find that right blend between the two. And when you fight Canuto, you do not have to worry. It's going to be entertaining. Like, he's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. And Alan Sanchez is a really good foil for that type of game. He's really good at almost like counter plays. We saw it with Kevin Beering, where he hit that like mounted triangle transition in the armbar. When someone goes after Alan Sanchez, you see the best version of Alan Sanchez. He picked a really good matchup for that. I hope that happens on UFC Fight Pass. I like the idea of all these major shows kind of like rewarding people for being exciting. And that's a nice little extension of the EBI storyline, is like he wins this big thing and immediately wants to go to the UFC Fight Pass. And then maybe UFC's been signing people. I don't know. Maybe he makes his play there.
Fair enough. Thank you for that. Tim, I'm going to come to you in just a second. But I do want to kind of let you guys know, it is kind of, you brought up Canuto here for just a second, and you brought up the idea of like, well, everybody wants a shot at him. If you guys are avid watchers of the Ground Hour, you will be able to go ahead and see an interview that I just did with him that might let you know a complication that's coming into that. So to drop for our Patreon users this week. For everybody else, wait for a month. Womp womp. Anyway, Tim, why don't you tell us what you were thinking in terms of implications?
Well, Renato Canuto, what I heard is he is dedicating his career towards pickleball. So he's going to be not playing jiu-jitsu anymore. He's going full-blown.
Wow, spoilers.
Spoiler. I saw
taking that off the Patreon. Wow. Really
messing refs whole cream up.
All good. It's just the way we get paid here. I would say this, though. You did mention this, and I know it's the joke, but I took a minute to actually think, like, shit, if he was a pickleball artist, it'd be the fucking best pickleball I think I'd ever seen. Like, this dude would
probably
be flipping up and hitting in between his legs, like, literally doing jumps on the pickleball, racquetball court, and they'd be trying to tell him, too, like, you don't need to do that. And he goes, sorry, brother, I had to. I did.
He's one of those guys that you're like, why? How did you end up in jiu-jitsu, buddy? Like, you're real. You're not like the rest of us. How did you get here?
I'm sorry, Tim. We did cut into your time, so you have the floor back, sir.
Oh, yeah, no worries. So, I saw a couple things that developed, and Kevin alluded to one of those. That is Sanchez immediately saying, UFC Fight Pass, what's up? I want to be on the card. So you're starting to see a little bit of an alliance formed. Obviously, EBI and Jiu Jitsu Overdose is on Fight Pass. The other aspect of that, and we talked about this yesterday, is there's like between 8 and 10 guys from the PGF on the EBI card. So we're starting to see like a Western alliance form in Jiu Jitsu between PGF, EBI, UFC Fight Pass, and that could be, I don't know, that could be a response to maybe Flow and that whole kind of conglomerate on that end. So that's an interesting development. The other thing is this. Jet Thompson has a personal vendetta against John Combs. There's no other way. This I don't know why. Maybe Combs like punked Jet when he was like 12 years old or something, but Jet is coming with a vengeance for John Combs. And, he looked great last night. He hit him with the same sub. And Combs just kind of looked at him and smiled like, dude, why you got to be that way? That's cold, man. That's cold. But both guys seem to like each other. But, man, Jet's got something going on up there, dude. He's coming for it.
You are not wrong. Gentlemen, I did want to take a moment now that we've kind of previewed what happened yesterday. I would like to close the conversation on EBI and take us to today's bracket. And guess what? Wouldn't you know it, we actually have it on display for you guys. So look at this. Look at this stuff that we're able to put together at the last second here. I mean, pre-planned very well. What I should tell you is this is the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds bracket. Just taking a look at this right now, I'd like to go ahead and get first impressions. Tim, I'll start with you.
Well, there's some guys that we see who are returning, right? Nate Orchard, Ben Eddy. I think Keith Krikorian's been in combat jiu-jitsu before. And, there's some new guys. Now, look, I've seen Javier Garcia at Subversive. He's tough, dude. Like, Javier Garcia and Nate Orchard is going to be a banger of a match right there. That's going to be a hell of a match. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm looking forward to seeing if Ben Eddy changes his approach a little bit or what approach he brings. He's been getting out there a lot. He has a very particular style, and if he can get it, it's not bad for combat jiu-jitsu because it's really hard to dude that can pull you into that position. But overall, I'm interested in looking at it. Look, combat jiu-jitsu, those strikes change the game, man. They open it up and they change it, and the guys that you think are going to win don't always win. So there's always a surprise with combat jiu-jitsu.
Thank you for that. Kevin, your thoughts?
I'm trying to figure out whether Javier Garcia is the guy I think he is. I've seen him. I'm trying to figure out. I know who Javier Garcia is. I think I've seen him do a combat jiu-jitsu match before, and he hits like a truck. That Nathan Orchard matchup is a rough first-round draw, but good job, Tim, calling attention to it. Yeah, this is a really interesting bracket as far as, like, you know how these guys hit. We've seen throw him under the bus, Kieran Kitchuk on a combat jiu-jitsu teams event, and he's one of the most dangerous guard players in the world, and he pulled guard against a guy from Team Alpha Male who I didn't know who he was. I don't think many people knew who he was, and that guy hit Kieran once, and Kieran stood up and was like, nope, we're not doing this. Suddenly this is a draw. Like, you're going to have to hit me with that get down rule. I'm out of here. And that's real, man. That is absolutely real. So that's the most interesting thing with combat jiu-jitsu world. Like, we know the names of these, like, jiu-jitsu guys. Keith Krikorian, Max Hansen, Nathan Orchard, Ben Eddy, right? We've got a whole bunch of other guys on this list that are, we'll say, lesser known on the jiu-jitsu scene. Says they can't hit you, right? Like, even some of these experienced vets, getting hit sucks. All of those guys like their guard game. They like to play guard. If you can take that away from them, the complexion of the match changes and it rattles a guy and it affects him going into the next. We've seen combat jiu-jitsu worlds where the number one seed had to pull out because of injury, got through one match. Like, this is the anything can happen bracket. If you're a betting man, there's some guys that are like your solid bet. I would say like Max Hansen basically does combat jiu-jitsu when he does normal jiu-jitsu. So, up kicks and slaps and headbutts. So he's probably he's gonna handle this. Orchard knows what he's doing. Ben Eddy, Keith Krikorian's got absurd jiu-jitsu. But anything can happen, man. It's a violent sport.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to come down to your final four predictions. I'll start with you, Tim. Tim, who do you have in your final four?
Oh man, this is going to be a tough one. I'm going to go with Max Hansen. Let's see. Man, I'm gonna go out on a limb and go Darren Mima. And then on the right side, and I think Orchard's gonna have a hell of a match against Javier Garcia, but I'm gonna go Nate Orchard and Lucas Barzola.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, yours.
Yeah, I'm going with Max Hansen, Keith Krikorian, Nathan Orchard, and Ben Eddy. I think the most interesting corner of the bracket is Nathan Orchard's. I think Javier Garcia is going to give him a tough match. I think Braithwaite and Christos might be getting slept on. I think that's a very interesting matchup. I do think whoever goes into it versus the guys one step above them, Nathan Orchard, and has their work cut out for them. But I think that's the most interesting corner of the bracket. But my four are Ben Eddy, Nathan Orchard, Max Keith Krikorian.
I just want to know who this Maximilian guy is. I know Max Hansen. Max
dressing up his image.
Seems like you're just trying to fill out your IBJJF profile a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then
put that bow tie on him.
But think about this. Mal Rios is the winner of the other day's bracket. So did Max Hansen take all of the lettering so that Mauricio didn't have any words left? They were just like, Mal? Because that's how I saw all week. I was literally saying his name. I was like, I think it's just Mauricio. And I think at one point, Tim's like, I don't see the combat jiu-jitsu winner. And I was like, I don't. Oh, no, it's Rios, but Mao? And Max?
Yeah.
Very
It's a power move.
Now, everybody's going
The disrespect. The disrespect.
I want to say this. I think Matt has a good shot. I've liked Matt. Max has a good shot. Matt, I like a lot. I've seen his work. I enjoy it. Mauricio looked really, really good. It's just a tough pull against Max, but that's the way it goes when you are the entry qualifier or the winner of that bracket to come into this one. Orchard, I think we'll skip by Javier Garcia. Javier has good hands, but I think Nathan has that experience. And if he does spoil him right there, I wouldn't even say it's a spoiler because Javi has good hands. We've seen what he can do with his MMA career. He's won numerous titles. I'm sure they're eyeing him for future prospects, but he's very consistent with his work. And if he can make it an MMA match, that's good. Normally for a lot of people, Nathan has been under that pressure, though, before. So that's one to watch as well. Great pick on the Christos. Kind of little highlight there. He's been identified as somebody who didn't even get to see his full extent of his powers at the PGF. And I know he's been chomping at the bit. And, of course, Benetti, a former combat champ as well. So I guess the real big narrative is Nathan Orchard has always taken a runner-up status. Can he win tonight? That is a big narrative. Keith Krikorian, a former winner in his own right, isn't the number one seed if you look at how this is bracketed. That's an interesting conundrum. So to me, there's a lot of question marks, and in terms of how they seeded it, I don't even know if the traditional way they do that is what it ended up being. But nonetheless, very interesting to see how that got put together. Gentlemen, now that we've done that, we're going to do our segment just called Word. So that means I'm going to ask each of you a competitor's name, and your job is to say the first word that comes to mind when you hear that competitor's name. So I will tell you this right now. You guys have done this before. You understand how hard it can be. Do you think you can accomplish this better than you did yesterday, though?
Yeah, I think
Absolutely
so.
not.
I'm ready today.
All right.
I killed it yesterday. I'm not trying to follow that up. There's no encore.
The way this is going to happen is I'm going to call you guys one after the other. So it's going to go not all Tim one side, not all Kevin one side. You guys are going to oscillate between people. Okay?
Okay.
That's a word.
What is a T word?
SAT word.
Oh,
Oscillate.
an SAT word. I was like, yes.
That's that little furry thing, right? Like a ferret.
Yep, that's exactly what that is. I'm just glad that Kevin is ever once in a while childlike moments is like, it's an SAT word. And I'm like, it's not quite a Ralph Wiggummism, but it's like right short of it. So it definitely makes me laugh. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with Tim Freeman, Jeremiah Macy.
Jeremiah Macy. Beefy.
Kevin, Mal Rios.
Syllable. My boy got cheated out of that second syllable on his name.
Tim Freeman.
That's good.
Javier Garcia.
Tapatio.
Wow. Okay. And I'm sorry, Go Brothers, for that one. Okay.
But come on, man. How could you not laugh at that? That's spot on, dog.
It's all right. Kevin, you know what the worst part is? You can't do the joke and then be like, hey, you have to admit that's good. I'm not. I have free mind and will here. Kevin Sherrill, Darian Mima.
I want to make fun of his hats.
Hold on. Let me do that again because I think I said his name wrong. Darren Mima.
Hats.
Get out of here. Terrible.
He's chosen his side.
Chosen hats.
He is repping. He's repping.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Freeman. Ben Eddy.
Healthy.
Kevin Sherrill. Bloomer.
Cheery.
Okay. He does look very happy in this photo.
Looks like he's really happy to be there, man. He hopes both teams have fun.
Can we give some advice? I know it might be a good profile shot for your JC Penny photo, but this smile is not the one you want for a jiu-jitsu one. So my apologies to Marvin. My man, you look like a happy bloke, but not the time. Read the room.
He's got the LinkedIn profile photo. Everybody else has a mugshot.
Yeah.
Tim Freeman, Princeton Jackson.
Princeton Jackson. Banger.
Kevin Sherrill, Max Hansen.
Up kick. I will never not be salty. He up kicked me 50 times in a match and asked me why I wasn't trying to pass his guard. I'm like, brother,
You're so
I'm 3
petty,
feet
Kevin.
away.
So petty. He can't let anything
It's
go.
so funny because I wanted to look up, do you hyphenate up kick? And I feel like because you got kicked 15 times, I have to let it pass. So it stands. Let's go to Tim Freeman, Christos Papadopoulos.
Menudo.
Listen, guy.
That's a strong one, dog.
We're not even in the right realm, dude. Like, at least hit the dartboard on these. Kevin Sherrill, Randy Baker.
I'm a faces guy, so I always got to find him. Oh, yeah, grit.
Okay. Tim Freeman, Matt Mash.
Spicoli.
Spicoli. You know what? That's actually not bad. I do like that one. He definitely looks like he hangs out with Timothy Chalamet and they go out clubbing.
Yeah, bruh.
See. Kevin Sherrill, Nathan Orchard.
Signature.
Timman, Dalio Birthweight.
Fierce.
Thank you. Kevin Sherrill, Lucas Barzola. Freeman, JJ Bowers.
JJ Bowers. Ooh. Sneaky.
Okay. And Kevin Sherrill, Keith Kokorian.
Technician.
Well done. Well, gentlemen, that will conclude our version of Word. And, you know, I learn a little bit more about your word association skills each time we do this game. It does open up what kind of board games I would have you guys play if there was a game night, because
I'm losing Scrabble.
I mean, listen, I don't know what kind of game nights you go to, but Kevin's going to the game nights where you got to bring fine to get in, apparently. At my game nights, Scrabble is not the first game that we play. We're a little bit more jukebox. We're also people who will bust. I mean, one of my friends, he's a game producer. He has the best game collection ever. And he curates the bet. Like, he'll literally create Family Feud questions for us to do. And will literally tell us, like, hey, we're going to go again because I have more fast money questions. And I go, Jesus Christ. Okay. So it's what happens when you work in game shows. People take their games very seriously. So in the future, I'm sure, one day. Gentlemen, I'll ask you this. Do you have closing thoughts for today before we kind of send them off to the wonderful world at Jiu-Jitsu Worlds? I'll start with you, Kevin Sherrill.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to one of the special matches and call y'all's attention to it. Jordan Worth is competing. And if you guys want to see a really good indication of that, like how 10th Planet approaches combat jiu-jitsu for it, super aggressive, super bend, dangerous rubber guard and leg locks. and will hit you from the bottom. Like from his guard, he will be sending strikes. If he's not submitting you, he's trying to strike you. And it's guys like him, Ben Eddy, and Nathan Orchard are sort of what I feel like Eddie wanted to showcase when he's combat jiu-jitsu. So today's a great day for it. Don't go hit the bathroom or refill your drink when the special matches come around. They're good matchups today.
Thank you for that. And it should be noted that Jordan actually was a hero to us over at Subversive. We had a dropout from a competitor who just decided not to do the event. Okay. Pick day of to do it. And wouldn't you know it, Jordan Worth was looking for a match too and came in, saved the day, and had an epic, very fun match against the very game Javier Garcia. So if you guys want to see how that one goes, go to Subversive. It was Subversive Fight Club. It was our main event. And I have to say, all things considered, there was a lot that could have gone wrong, but that ended up probably turning out better than we had expected. So super happy about that one. Tim, I'll come to you for some last thoughts.
Yeah, I think Kevin hit the nail on the head with Jordan Worth. You definitely want to catch that match. Listen, this is the wrap-up of Jiu Jitsu Overdose. There have been 3 great events on the previous nights. All the athletes have showed up. They've showed out. They're built. We're seeing stars being created right on the spot. These jiu-jitsu athletes, they don't want to be the one that has a weak showing tonight. They want to come out and pop off in a big way. This is the grand finale. This is it. So make sure you watch it. Don't take your eyes off it. And again, with combat jiu-jitsu, anything can happen. Those strikes really change up the game. The best jiu-jitsu guys are not always the best combat jiu-jitsu athletes. And then there are some sick jiu-jitsu dudes who could still submit people in combat jiu-jitsu. So it's going to be a great night of jiu-jitsu, a great night of combat jiu-jitsu. You got to tune in UFC Fight Pass.
Thank you for that, gents. I have to tell you, super happy with how this all turned out. It's been a very fun week. So if today is the last day that you guys get to witness Jiu Jitsu Overdose, we thank you for tuning in with us. And it's been a blast. I hope they have a very good finale. I'll say this, though. I'll save it for the recap tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to have another installment of Bullpen. We'll do a live broadcast. We'll bring you some recaps. As I mentioned, Valerie has already been contacted by us to do the show. Alan Sanchez has been contacted. I understand he's busy, but he's not gotten back to me yet. I will let you know this right now, Alan Sanchez. I need to get back to other people. I should have a flag. Because you only know the times when the flag happens. It's not like it's a surprise. You know you won something. You've been on the show before. You came on the show the last time you won. What do you think I want from you right now? Alan Sanchez, just get back to me. He'll be on the show soon. But he had a great quote when he was on the last time where he talked about how he sketched out, kind of like a comic book, his last EBI win. He dreamt it out. He was able to go do it. And he was able to kind of create these comics. And I thought that was such a unique thing. And now I've seen them create like a whole video profiling those drawings. And they look even better than when I saw those sketches. So Alan definitely is a testament to see it to believe it. And hopefully the next time we interview him, which we will, Alan, we will get some more information on that. So nonetheless, thanks you guys so much for watching. We'll be back here tomorrow early in the afternoon, so come check us out on behalf of all of us here at The Bullpen. We appreciate you guys. We hope you have a great day. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.